Hey, what's up? Hey, it's Deco. Um, this is the Washed Up Podcast, and I want to say thanks to everybody who's been tuning in. It's been really exciting, and to hear the feedback and the support, the the comments on that I get, the texts and the calls that I get about the pod, and people who are tuning in and enjoying and looking forward to the next episode. It's been really cool, and I'm excited to drop this Mother's Day pod with a good friend, Maddie REPAVICH, and it's going to be good. I think you guys will enjoy this pod. I want to get so deep, and I want it to flow organically where we just kind of just talk where we forget the cameras on. And I feel like that's where we're getting there. And I want to bring more guests on here where it's just a good time. I need to get like, we come up here and just have a beer. Maybe with the next guest, we just sip a beer and we just have a good time and chat and see what we come up with because no, it's been good. I'm enjoying the conversations because I just love talking to people and especially talking to people about what they've gone through and like my perspective on what they're going and their perspective on what they were feeling at the time and how they're getting out of it and how we all can learn from each other's stories and stuff like that and what people are interested in. And yeah, but this Mother's Day episode I think is going to be very entertaining, and I think you guys will really enjoy what Maddie has to say and her viewpoints on things and her life experiences. And I really enjoyed hearing a lot of it because a lot of it kind of crossed over from Jake's episode to her episode, but we really got to see the two different perspectives of what was going on during the same time, the same struggles, and yeah, it was cool. It was cool to hear both sides, and even when it comes down to what you'll hear in the episode, like how they met, both of them have different perspectives on that, and it's actually very funny. And yeah, well, thank you for tuning in and supporting. Feel like please share this with people and we'll probably come out with some like t-shirts and washed up t-shirts and let me know if you guys would be interested in that and I would love to kind of get this thing going and get some cool people. Like I have a list in my head of like people who I think would be fun to have on. And of course I want like the people I know personally, but I also want people that I've never met, people I've heard of, and like I want to get my buddy Marky on here. I've known him since we were kids. Our dads played baseball together, and he's out having family. He's a barber. He even started his own team where he's getting guys to play like professional ball in Mexico, and he's even currently played in Rocky Point for this professional team out there, the Tiburones. And I also want to get uh, a guy from high school that he was a couple years younger than me. Braden, he started a soda company, and it's like who would have thought? Who knew? And that's what a soda brand's called. Is who knew? And like who would have thought that would like that's what he would have gone into because it's and yeah to hear I would love to hear his story and how he came into that because he was a stud athlete and at some point like basically what the title is on the show is being washed up. And yeah, dude, I'm geeked. This is gonna be fun. Oh, and I'm gonna drop some stuff with my buddy Christy. He's one of my best friends, and his perspective on life is high, and he's successful. He works his fucking ass off, and it's a good time every time we chat. And I've been known to have a contagious laugh. He has a contagious laugh. We laugh the whole time. So I want him to get him in here in the pod. But two, we're gonna do like Zoom chats, and those are gonna be exclusive, probably to the Instagram page. And they'll just be clipped up, and because we talk about serious things, because we're both doing a lot in our lives, and a lot of it is like pretty unordinary because in certain circumstances that I'm going through, which I'll be really interested in sharing with due time. But yeah, I'm currently even going through a lot now, and I'm still trying to find those battles and work my way through that. But yeah, so thank you for tuning in. I'm excited to drop. This will be episode 3, and then still searching for a guest for episode 4. But stay tuned for that one, and I hope you guys really enjoy what Maddie's like testimony in her story and the way she views life and the way because it may be different from yours, or you may not agree with her, or you may be like, I never thought of it that way. And I'm glad I've heard that because now I feel like I can apply that to my life. And that's literally all this pod is about, is just like what we can take from each other's life and implement it to our life, or whether it works or it doesn't work or whatnot. But and yeah, and I'm also trying to get my shit together too. Like I truly still don't feel like my stuff is together, but I'm here anyway, and I'm trying to do it. And I think this is a great way to do it because I just want to do things I enjoy, and I think we all should do things we enjoy. And yeah, and I actually feel like this is a calling for me, and we'll see how it goes. But enjoy episode 3. It's gonna be fun. Give Maddie some love too.
Very fun.
Thank you. All right, we'll see. Let's see how we're gonna get this going.
Okay.
All right, this is Maddie. Wait, am I in? Yeah, we're good. All right, this is Maddie REPAVICH, my good friend from high school's wife.
Yeah.
And I thought, what better than bring in a mom for a Mother's Day episode?
Yeah. Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mother of 2.
Mother of 2. 2 boys.
Yeah, and former athlete as well.
Yep. Former athlete.
Division 1 soccer player.
I was. Yes.
And so, yeah, take us through like what, like obviously you played soccer in high school.
Yeah.
So what was that like being from Phoenix, right? The Phoenix area.
Yeah. So I'm from Phoenix. I'm from here, born and raised. Never left. I attended Northwest Christian, right down the road, and played high school there. But female sports are very different from men's sports in high school. You don't get recruited out of high school. That's just more of a fun thing to do. So I was club just all over the valley.
Yeah.
So did that, and then went on and got recruited by a few schools and played at GCU. Yeah.
So what did you have, like multiple offers, or was kind of GCU the one that stood out to you?
Yeah, I had been talking to a few schools. So U of A, Rice, Bucknell in Pennsylvania, and GCU, and I was adamant that I was not going to GCU. Adamant. And the reason why was because I just felt like everybody from Northwest Christian went there. So I was like, I'm not doing this. And when they wanted me to come for an unofficial, I was touring, and just the vibe, and I mean the scholarship money helps.
Yeah.
And so when they offered what they did, it was just kind of like
and then like you're a family person, which I like met some of your family. It's like everybody seems close, like you want to be, and then like this is another thing I want to talk about too, is like being the oldest sibling.
Yeah.
And how that like affects your life really, because it's like, because I'm also an older sibling, and it's like you want to lead by example. You want to protect your youngest siblings, and I'm sure even now that everybody's grown now. And you're still kind of like, I need to watch over them, but it's like they can watch over themselves now. So it's like it's a weird thing being an older child, especially now as an adult.
Yeah, it is weird, and I'm just I'm a homebody. I always have been. And so when I chose GCU, that was one of the biggest reasons. Was because both my parents were down the street.
You can see them when you want. You can see your siblings.
My siblings were all like kind of hitting big milestone things, so I got to be there for all of that. So overall, it was just the best fit. For my personality.
And then also like with women's sports, like you said, it's not like there's not as many options as like what guys had. So with Rep, his pinnacle was wanting to go pro. And women's sports kind of don't have that pinnacle. It's kind of college, right? If you're like really taking sports seriously, it's like I want to play college XYZ, or like whatever sport they play. That is the pinnacle. So it's like and you also understanding that like your husband wanting to reach that pinnacle, and like where do you think that is like for like females? Because like, did you have any aspirations to go pro?
I did not.
Yeah.
No, my aspiration since I was probably like 6 or 7 years old was to play Division
Uh
One.
huh.
That was all I had my sights set on that. I wasn't
Yeah.
going to settle for anything other than that. And so when that came true, that was going to be my
That's your
next,
pinnacle.
yes,
Yeah.
that was my, and I had fulfilled what I wanted.
Uh-huh.
It was at a Division One level.
Mm-hmm.
I got to experience that life. But
Mm-hmm.
after that, playing in like the NWSL, that
Yeah.
just was not my.
Uh-huh.
I was ready.
And I'm sure there's some girls that
Oh,
have
yeah.
those aspirations, but it's like it's also not everybody's dream.
Right.
Like I feel like for the most part, everybody who's played like Division One football, they have aspirations to
Sure.
play in the pros.
Yeah.
Like even if they kind of like know that's not going to happen, they're just like they're kind of holding on to that childhood dream.
Yeah, and I feel like if you're a male, I could be wrong, but if you're a male playing Division One, like you should have that aspiration to go.
Uh-huh.
If not, JUCO, D2, it's
Yeah.
all wonderful.
Well, yeah.
You know, women are not like that. I
Uh-huh.
mean, they're ready to like either start a career or get married and have a family.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just
And it is different.
Yeah,
it is just a completely different thing because like, and it is awesome to see how women's sports has grown too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
The Title IX, and I mean it's amazing.
Yeah, and like the professional scheme, it's like I'm hearing more about it. Obviously, in like there's big discrepancy, but it's still it's trending in the right direction, and I think it is making women want to strive for that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very different, very different from men and women, based off what they're going to do after college.
Yeah.
No matter what level you play at.
From
JUCO all the way to Division One. You know, in the Big 12.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So you graduated, right? What you graduate with?
I was a communications major, so pretty basic.
Yeah.
You know,
just unsure what you wanted to do, or
my dream job. I hosted a sports radio show for a long time, and my dream job is I wanted to be a sports reporter. I had an internship with ESPN in college.
Nice.
I did that for a little bit, and that's what I wanted. But then when I got married so young, my dream it just changed. You know, you just change that. And again, it's very different from men to women. But I got that communications major kind of in hopes and I jumped. I went in as something, and then I was a special ed major for I love the special needs community, and then I was like, you know what, let's go communications. I don't quite, but I wanted to be, that was my dream, was to be a sports reporter.
Okay.
Yeah. So that changed.
I could see that in you.
Yeah. I loved it. I loved
the environment.
Yeah. And the radio show that I hosted was sports. So just bringing on the guests and getting to know their stories and at the end of the day, like combining. I remember when I graduated, I wasn't 100% sure what I was going to do. And I looked at Jake and I said, I love Jesus and I love sports. I just want to figure out how to do the two. And so.
And that leads
and
to where you are now. So, and then Jake kind of broke it down, but like, so what do you do now?
So I help CCD, Christchurch the Valley. I help run our sports ministry over there. So we have soccer and we have football, and we all help each other. We're one big team, but I specifically help run our soccer side at the Peoria campus. And so that has really been, I've been doing that now for about 7 years. Yeah. And that has been just a fulfillment of what I prayed for. I love Jesus. I've been at a high level athlete, and I don't want to just give that up either. And so I've just been able to implement the two. And it's just been really. And
it just kind of fell.
Yeah. It was a gift. It was a gift.
Yeah, very much like who would have thought that you could have done something like that?
Oh, I never in my million. And I just remember praying. I was like, okay, God, like I need. My heart's desire. And when this opportunity opened, I was just so grateful. Yeah. So I'm still there. That's cool. Still doing it. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you get married to Jake too. And you were a junior, right? Correct?
I was a junior. Yeah. Yep.
And then he was done with school. And then so how was that? But did you get a lot of, because like being married in college, it's like not normal. It's not, or like I guess maybe at GCU, but or I don't know. How'd you feel being the married one, especially on the
married
team?
One? Yeah. Well, my athletic career was a little bit different in college. I played for 3 years, and then I got medically released my junior year.
Mm-hmm.
So after we got married and I was medically released that spring.
Okay.
So it was really, I was only married for a few months.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
being on the
Before.
team.
Yeah.
But I just, again, it was kind of a, I don't know, not normal, but it was normal. You know, everyone just kind of, so it wasn't anything.
It wasn't anything like
Yeah.
So being medically, that was tough.
That was hard.
Yeah.
Well, there were a lot of tears shed with that one. that was hard. Yeah.
So you play, I think, would break it down. You play your freshman year, correct? As a true freshman?
Well, you know, yes. So I was a true freshman. I came in recruited. I was recruited by a different coaching staff.
Okay.
That coaching staff was no longer at GCU when I came in, and by that point, we didn't have the transfer portal.
Yeah.
You know, when we played, so it was too late to even look at anywhere else. All the rosters were full, and that coaching staff came in, and it was just kind of figuring it out as you go. And so I played as a true freshman, but it was a very different experience than I think what I had expected because that was not the staff that chose me. They didn't pick me. So figuring that out, and then I played sophomore year, and then junior year.
Okay. So this is something we can both relate on. Is tearing your knee.
Yes. Yeah. It was gone.
The
whole knee was gone.
So, like you said, probably a lot of tears shed, and it's just like it was almost like one of those things where it's like this is not supposed to happen. Yeah. Like why? It's almost like that why me, but like where were you there, and then like and like how did God help you through that too?
Yeah. When I came in as a freshman, I didn't play much. I think there were a lot of us, and again, the dynamic changes when you're not the class that was recruited.
Yeah.
So I just remember thinking I was just so frustrated. You get there, you're so excited. I knew that with the prior coaching staff that I would have started, I would have played.
Mm-hmm.
Totally not what God had. Totally fine. Well, I think when you're at that level, you're like, okay, well, what do I have to do to get there?
Mm-hmm.
And so that summer, my freshman year going into my sophomore year, I missed my family traveled all summer. Didn't go on one single trip. I was on the track at 5 a.m. every day. I was I busted my you know what just to make sure that I would have
that you were
spot.
missed. Yeah.
And so we come in sophomore year, truly the fittest and the strongest I've ever been in my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And we do our fitness test. We all remember those, and those are horrible. And then we go and we play U of A for a preseason game. And I remember they started someone over me. And I just remember it was like this fire, like, this is not gonna work. And so this specific player was struggling in this game, and I knew, okay, I'm next. When I get my shot. So they call Wisely's my maiden name, and that's what they called me. So they're like Wisely, and they come in and they put me in. And as an athlete, like you just know that after you play, you're like, I secured it.
Yeah.
So I remember walking off the field. My dad was there, and I go, Dad, I did it. I said, I will start the next game. Well, that was preseason. Our first regular season game was kind of like a round robin in New Mexico. We played Texas Tech, which was a top 25 program that year, and then we played UNM. And so we went to New Mexico, and we would always walk into this conference room prior to the game. You had your lineup on the board and so on and so forth. Well, Wisely was up there as a starting. I played the 10 on the field, and so I was up there. And you're just like, okay, I did it. All those hours, all those missed things, all the sacrifice, all of it. Like that was my
paid
dream.
Off.
I was about to start on a Division I team against a top 25 program.
Yeah.
Dream fulfilled. So you get out there, truly played the best game of my life. 75 minutes in, just had a girl in front of me. She cut one way. I went to go cut and defend, and it was just the knee was gone. And so that and my dad was like, I was not going to miss your first start for GCU. So he was there in the stands, and the girls afterwards told me that I was on the opposite side of the field, and you could hear the pop from that side over. I mean, it was horrific.
Yeah.
And as you know, and so I think going through that piece, it was that like I was so like angry. Like I was like, I worked so hard. I worked so hard. But it was a big maturing moment for me of, okay, and this is kind of I think a lot of Christians say this, but okay, God, like, what are you trying to do through this? But it is the truth. It's, hey, like, wow, not why, because I don't believe we deserve to know the reason why, but what's the purpose of this so that you can get the glory? I mean, that's truly what I believe. Like when you say you follow Jesus and you know Jesus, and then you're playing at a high level, and something like that happens. It's hard to think that way because you want it to not be the case. But then, okay, God, how are you going to get the glory through this? Now, it took me a while to get there, but that's where I got.
Yeah.
And so that happened. I rehabbed. I came back, and I just wasn't the same. I just was not the same player. There was just some different like dynamics on that team too that were hard, and when I came into GCU, I had a torn meniscus, so rehab that, and then tore the ACL, and then the anterior and lateral meniscus with it, sprained the MCL, so it was kind of a whole bunch there. Well, then when I did come back after surgery, rehab was ready to go, I re-tore my meniscus, my lateral meniscus, and so I think at that point, I just remember I was in so much pain, and I went to an appointment with Jake one day. And the doctor medically released me, and he, at that time it truly, I was so grateful. NCAA has to, finish paying that scholarship out, and so because that's hard too. You work so hard for that, and then things out of your control. So all that to say, yeah, it just was, it was not the career I had envisioned.
Yeah,
but the prayer, like, okay, God, how do you get the glory?
But then you found your way through it, and which we got to do in everyday life, even now.
Yeah,
and it's like you find your way through
and
it.
As a mom,
yeah, and then and then you also use your experience, and you did you did help me when I tore my, because I remember tearing my knee, and I call. Like me and Jake were close, and we talked.
Wow.
We've talked. You probably don't.
I don't.
It was so.
Yes.
And he's like, dude. He's like, and you. How Jake talks? He's like, dude, you got to talk to Maddie. She's been through this and through
and he's probably coming to me like,
and then so we ended up talking. Yeah. We also ended up praying over the phone too, and you just kind of told me what you went through when you tore your knee, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna So finding somebody who's going through the same things, especially we're just talking about being an athlete, tearing a knee, but also different aspects of life seasons of life where you can relate with somebody to, and then help them push through it or find where their end goal is and all that stuff.
Yeah. That's funny you say that.
That's funny. No, I
forgot about that. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, but small thing, and then even that, just the small things you do in life that you don't even think anything of, and then it's how much that affected the person.
But then to God be the glory.
So he's putting you in positions for a reason.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. No. Walk through all of that story again. That was a while ago.
That was.
Yeah.
Because I got my
9
ACL.
years ago.
Yeah, I got my ACL surgery the day after your wedding. And I don't know if you remember that.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I went to your wedding, and then the next morning, I didn't drink or eat.
Yes, anything. At the wedding.
Yeah, at the wedding, because I had to go to Tucson and have surgery.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I remember, because you're, December 20th, right?
Yes,
and I got surgery on December 21st.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Bringing back all the memories. Wow. 7.5 years ago.
So, how much do you miss the sport?
Miss the sport?
Being able to play at that high level again.
Yeah. There's aspects. There's aspects that I miss. But for me, that season was really difficult. Not just because of the ACL tear, but the dynamic and the culture that I was in was very difficult. And so, but I'm also I was just also raised that when you start something, you finish it. And so I was never going to walk into the coach's office and be like, I'm done, because I started something. I committed to that. And I miss aspects. I miss walking out of the tunnel into
Mm-hmm.
that beautiful stadium. I miss,
The
hearing the
pitch,
yes,
right?
the pitch. Yeah, you want to talk about soccer terms? Jake makes fun of them. The boots. Put on your boots. Yeah, I miss that. I mean, opening night was just filled with fans. I
Uh-huh.
mean, just the atmosphere was amazing. I miss the little girls that would come and they would just want to come and talk and just ask questions about
Uh-huh.
how did you get to that
Having the
level?
people who look up to you. And
Yeah,
then
and
like it means, I feel like it means much more to us being older siblings.
yes, yeah, because you're like,
Because I don't know, like it's just different because being
yeah,
the oldest, you're just like, at least I hold that very, because I had all my younger brothers and
mm,
all their friends like look
yeah,
up to me. I was a
yeah,
football player, baseball, and it's like this
yeah.
guy's a stud, and like,
Yeah, and they would bring their jerseys for
uh-huh,
signatures. And you know what? There were so many. I look back at that season of my life, like there are so many other women that were in my class that were playing at way better schools, way better than I am. Way,
uh-huh,
and that's just life. But that platform for me was such a gift to be able to going through that, kind of being in that like complex dynamic.
mm-hmm,
So to answer that question, I do miss that. I do
mm-hmm,
miss like just that stadium and the people and the fans.
yeah,
I do not
the excitement,
I do not miss the fitness tests. I do not miss the early mornings of weightlifting. I don't miss
yeah,
any of that. But it was also I met my husband there. Like
yeah,
that if they're and his dad is Mike. I mean, Mike.
yeah,
He's just
Mike,
so wonderful, and he always will say to Jake, he's like, if you didn't go to GC for any other reason, it was to me, your wife,
uh-huh.
for a family.
And we talked about that too. But and
Yeah.
then it's funny you bring up, it's like you need, like I finished. Like I had, like I
Yes.
wasn't gonna quit on the team. Like I
Mm-hmm.
fin and Jake did the same thing when you
Yeah.
gave up in like indie like ball.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
hey, I made a commitment to you guys for the
Mm-hmm.
year. He's like, just know I'm done after this
Yeah.
year, and like he finished that, and that means as a character,
Mm-hmm.
just character wise, that means a
Yeah.
lot, and especially not only for sports, but it's like every day, like his commitment to you, his
Right.
commitment, yeah,
Right. And I remember us thinking to ourselves, we'd say like, hey, like when we have kids, we want them to be like, no, like mom and dad finished.
uh
Like
huh,
they did what they needed to do. And so what I have learned from being at a Division 1 level is like everything has a ripple effect. So what you do now is going to ripple effect 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, and so on and so forth,
mm-hmm,
whether it's like in your marriage or with your kids or being a
mm-hmm,
mom. And so I learned a lot, and
mm-hmm,
I've been able to take that and now in my everyday mom wife life, because that
yeah.
is my world right now. That's the
Yeah.
season I'm in. So it was a gift, and I pray that God was glorified through every aspect. But definitely, I'm good not going back
Yeah.
to that. Yeah, yeah.
And Jake's the same way too.
Yeah,
And it's
we're
like,
good.
yeah.
We're good. That was a
He's
season.
like, I am a
Yeah,
dad now.
yeah,
Yeah. He's like, I'm here to support my family, and
yeah,
that's all I,
yeah,
like, that's all that,
and
and that's good.
it's and not to like detour, but I had somebody tell me today. They said Jake. Speaking of Jake, they were like, he made it at such a high level and truly was such a great player that he could walk around like talking about that all the
Uh
time if
huh.
he really wanted to. But he chooses not to.
Mhm.
And because his family is first, our
Yeah.
marriage is first, and that's just not our life anymore. And I responded and I said, he truly was. I said, the records he has set, the things, and I mean, he truly was one of the best pitchers in the country at
Well, yeah,
that time.
he's the, yeah, like
Yeah,
had most
most
wins
wins,
when at the D1
at the
level.
Division 1 level
Uh
across
huh.
all Division 1 schools.
Yeah.
So again, that's just the learning piece of like you can set all these records, you can do all these things, you can play at the highest level for the biggest school on the best field with the most knowledgeable coach.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, like, what does your life look like after that?
Uh huh.
And how are you, if you do know Jesus and that's what you claim, how do you glorify him when that's
Uh
over?
huh.
And that was a big part of our story of
Yeah.
like not
Well,
knowing what to do.
let's hear your side of the story and how you guys met.
Oh gosh,
He
yeah. Did you talk about that last
he
night with
did.
him? It's very different. Our,
I
our stories
wanted.
are very different. And even almost 8 years into our marriage, like we're still in total disagreement of how we met.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
He is 2 years ahead in like
Mhm.
school, and so I came in as a freshman, and we were traveling. Mila became my closest friend on the squad at that time, And I don't know, like when you're in college, maybe guys are different, but when you're a female, just full transparency, like you come in as a freshman, like you're just, hey, what other guys are out there? Like what other teams, what other whatever,
All
because
the
you're
new
just
people.
new people and you're trying to get acclimated and not necessarily always looking to date, but you're just trying to get into the social circle. And so I had okay, so Jake, I followed him on I think it was Instagram or something, and his catcher was Josh, and Josh, him and Mila weren't dating just yet, but they were talking, and so uh, Jake, we hadn't talked, but I knew he was coming back from summer ball that fall when I was about to start my fall season, and Josh and Mila, they then started dating like right before Jake came home, and so Josh or Mila and another gal named Ashley, they were like, we had an athlete meeting that night, and prior to that, we were all in FCA together, and so like I knew he was there, he knew I was there, but also, and we joke about this, like I'm not gonna chase, like that's just not my personality. So I'll never forget, and when he listens to this, he'll probably kill me for saying this, but he like walked by me in FCA, looked at me, kept going, walked back, looked at me, like just silly. Like I looked back and I was like, what are we, like 15? And so like literally. And so I was like, whatever, like I'm good. We're good. And we had like these athlete meetings together with the sports psychologists. And so there was one night where we were all had one, and Mila and another girl, they were like, Maddie, you gotta dress like cute tonight. You gotta look good. And I was like, what are you talking about? And they're like, we're gonna introduce you to Jake. Josh is gonna get Jake, and we're gonna get you, and we're gonna introduce you. And I was like, okay. So we go, and Mila brings me in, Josh brings Jake in, and says, truly, okay, Maddie, this is Jake. Jake, this is Maddie. Have fun, and walked away. Like just walked away.
Where is this at?
This was in our. It's now called like Antelope Hall, but it was one of the halls with the meetings at GCU. And the meeting was going to start in whatever 15 minutes, and so they just left us. We're just sitting there, staring at each other, like I don't know what to say to you. And he goes, we had a big weekend. We were playing Oklahoma that weekend, and he goes, so you playing Oklahoma this weekend? And I'm like, oh, did you look at the schedule? You know what I mean? Like we joke about this because I'm like, you're so silly. And so we sat in the meeting together, or I sat a few rows ahead of him, and I don't know, like it was just a funny interaction. Yeah. And then he was waiting for me after the meeting, and I'm thinking, oh gosh, like I don't know about this. And so he says, hey, do you want to go for some ice cream? So we go for some ice cream. I mean, we were there.
That one lines up. He said he met you in the training room.
You know what? And it's funny because like I don't remember that. Probably just how I don't remember the conversation that I had. I don't remember meeting him in the training room. I remember passing by.
The ice cream stories match up.
Okay.
And he's like, you guys were out till 4 a.m.
Maybe not that late. Because I remember being like looking at the clock and being like, oh my gosh, like we have weights at 5. Like we gotta go back.
Yeah.
But we just were talking, and it truly from that night. I mean, we've had our every marriage has some things, and you learn and you grow, but it just was, we just like loved being with each other. And so after that, I think we started dating literally 2 weeks after we met, and we even look back now with 2 kids later, 8 years in, and we're like, why did we do that? Like, why did we?
I think okay. So you probably don't even remember the first time we met.
Probably not.
Exactly.
Just
so
like
I went to go watch his game. I came because I was playing at Pima. So then I was like, I'm gonna take a weekend trip to Phoenix and just watch my boy play. And like, so I came up, watched him, and like his parents were there too. And like after the game, I think you had practice or something. And then we met at Qdoba. There's a Qdoba on campus, right?
Yep, Qdoba.
So we had Qdoba, and you showed up. It was like hi, and like I was there with the parents.
I do remember that.
Okay,
yes,
see,
I do remember that. Yeah, you were with Mike and Kristen, and he introduced, like, you guys were like best buds.
Yeah.
And he, and I had heard of you prior to that, but it was just really, I was like, oh, this is actually him. So I do remember that one.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. So.
And now married 9 years, you said. Oh, wait.
We'll be 8 in December.
8. Okay.
So 7.5.
7, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's awesome. Now 2 kids and just
Mm.
just navigating life together. And then
Yeah,
you guys have gone through a lot,
a
even
lot.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
So
A lot.
yeah, so me like when you guys got married, I met your
Yeah.
dad,
Yeah.
and and the best way I can put it is you meet him first time, he's your best friend,
Yeah. Yeah.
and if he likes you, he likes you, and it's like it's
And if he
just
doesn't, he doesn't.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But he seemed he
Yeah.
really catered to me, and I remember we played cornhole
Yeah.
before your wedding for like
Yeah.
hour. It was late. We were just playing cornhole,
Yeah.
and great guy,
Yeah.
and just navigating that life. When you got pregnant, it's supposed to be the best time of your life,
Mhm.
and what 2-3 weeks before,
Mhm.
yes, and that
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
I. I I try to relate to Jake from Jake's side because it's
Yeah.
like I'm sure he had no idea what to do.
Yeah.
And then but I couldn't even imagine where your head was at.
Yeah. Yeah. That was, and I've actually, I've never like sat in front of somebody and like fully like shared
Uh-huh.
that story. We're almost 5 years out, and it's probably a decent time to do so, I guess. That we joke, and people that truly joke that know us well, that we've been married for 7.5 years, but we've gone through like 15 years worth of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
just because, and not just my dad's passing, but just, when we first got married and long distance marriage and Jake's,
Uh-huh.
you know, the playing and the jobs and it's just like every marriage has its stuff. But I think that pivotal moment was his passing, and just like what that did
Uh-huh.
and how it impacted. And yeah, I had Brooks 4 weeks later. I was 36 weeks with Brooks when he passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
unexpectedly.
and that must have been extreme because then it's like you're thinking as like a selfish moment. Like I
Mm-hmm.
wish he was here. But then it's like you also realize your siblings lost him too. And so
Yeah.
then you're wanting to be there for
Yeah.
them. So
Yeah.
it's got to be this like juggle of emotions.
Yeah, and we were all in very different seasons of life. I was about to have my first baby. Tanner was at boot camp for the Army. Mackenzie, the third, she was about to graduate high school. And Walker, the baby, was about to turn 16.
Mm-hmm.
My dad died a week before his 16th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and then obviously you have my mom, who just
Her life.
love of her life for
Yeah.
25 years. And so that season, uh, and I think, when people ask me about it, like the trauma of his death was also so much.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just the passing; it was the trauma of like what happened and what it was, and not, not in a morbid way, but finding his body and seeing that body. And so it's just there's so much trauma with it, and
Yeah.
there's so much pain, and there's so much hurt, and the gap that he left will never be replaced.
Mm-mm.
Just like you started it out, like his personality is just and was just so, it's unmatchable.
Yeah.
Who he was unmatchable in that context.
Well, and then he's still here, just in a different way. Like when I pulled up to your house
Oh my
after I was hanging
goodness.
out,
That was
blasting the music,
crazy.
"Sweet Caroline." I did
Yeah.
not even know that was his favorite
Yeah.
song, and
Yeah.
I didn't even know you were home
In the house.
in the house, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, I don't even care. I'm turning this up,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
just you living in the on the your second
Yeah.
son's birthday
Yeah.
party. Yeah.
Yeah. And that, it's like every milestone. And to your point about like being an older sibling, like I love my siblings so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like all three of them, in the midst of different seasons and differences, like I just love them.
Uh-huh.
And Tanner has like such a gift of loyalty, and his just like loyal, like he loved my dad. And Mackenzie, who's just like so witty and fun, she gets the wittiness from him, and she's just so beautiful. And then Walker, who literally like he would just came back from one of his military things, and he was talking to me on the phone, and it truly, because he's identical to my dad, the way he looks, the way he acts and
Mm-hmm.
walks and talks, and I just even told him, I said, you sound like dad right now. Like this is so strange just to talk to you over the phone. And so that season, it rocked full vulnerability. Like it rocked me as a person. It truly was like the lowest point I've ever been in my entire life, to the point where I and I've told some people this. If I didn't know Jesus during that time of my life, I wouldn't be here. And that, and it's so, I've worked through so much, but that was just where I
Yeah,
was.
because I'm sure
And
you're feeling like this isn't fair.
it was horrible. It was horrible. There's no other word for it. And I remember after having, he passes, and then Jake was working in corporate at that time, and so his days were very long, and so he would work, his whatever 12-hour days, and then he'd go to my mom's house, and he would work till the wee hours of the morning, just trying to help her organize stuff, because there was a lot of, he died so unexpectedly. There was so
Yeah.
much to work through, and he that will be a time that I will forever be grateful for who Jake is because of what he did. And then he'd come home and then try to be a husband, and try to prepare for his first kid.
And yeah, and then that's what like I was trying to get it into like Jake's head. It's
Yeah,
like I don't know if he felt like, because I feel like me trying to put myself in his shoes, just like what could I do to be helpful? Like,
yeah,
because there's only so much you can do.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm sure there was times where he felt helpless,
Yeah.
and
Oh
he's like,
yeah.
I just got to go in where I can fill in, like,
Yeah.
and it
Mm-hmm.
still doesn't seem like enough.
Yeah. And and grief creates such a different dynamic. Everyone handles it so differently.
Mm-hmm.
And so navigating that, and then fast forward 4 weeks, I have Brooks. It's a pretty traumatic birth, and so you add that onto that,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, and I think Jake and I were just trying to figure out, like, what are we doing? Like,
Mm-hmm.
again, but it goes back to the question of, like, okay, God, like, how are you going to get the glory from this? Because this is truly the worst time that I've ever in my entire life. Horrible. And so Jake got a couple days off of work, and he had to go back. And so I just remember the constant battle for me of, I have to pick. I can either grieve my dad, or I can take care of my baby.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, as a mom, what are you going to do? You're going to put yourself to the side, and you're going to take care of your child.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I did. And so I didn't really grieve him. And, and then on top of that, with his birth, and then just if we're talking about Mother's Day and being a mom, like the hormonal changes and the postpartum, and I mean, you're just recovering, and so grieving, postpartum, having a new baby.
And that just got to feel like back to back to back to back to back. It's like, where
Yes.
do I get to
Yes.
settle down
Yeah.
and sit down and relax?
Yes. And then again, transparently, and Jake and I have shared our story in this too, like, our marriage was not well.
Mm-hmm.
And we struggled a lot just because of everything going on and how to navigate it. And it 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 I hope and pray that story does impact somebody else in a way that may not know the Lord, of, like, when you hit that rock bottom, because I was there, and I just pray that he would, like you can, I've talked to other moms too that have hit, maybe not like that grief point, but just that postpartum point of, like, the depression of, like, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And again, speaking on Mother's Day, like, Brooks, Jake and I have always said this, he will never fully understand the healing that he did for our family. And I do believe he was God's gift, obviously knowing what was going to happen in our lives. And until he becomes a dad one day, and maybe not even then, he won't fully understand.
I feel like even today, though, like, just who he is as a kid.
Yeah.
It's like he seems very thoughtful. He's a light.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he is a light.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do believe, like, not just because I'm his mom, but God has his hand on Brooks' life.
Oh yeah.
And
no, it was funny. When I went to church, he was there, and he was making a new friend. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh, he's like not scared of meeting people, and just like,
no, and he has, and I do believe, and this is maybe a controversial topic, I don't know, whoever listens to this podcast, but I don't believe that people, when they are in heaven, can see us. I don't believe that. I believe because heaven is perfect and
Mm-hmm.
earth is not. And so something that I told my mom this weekend. I said, when I worship, like whether it's at church or it's at home, or I'm just in a worship set like moment, I that's when I feel most connected to my dad, because
Mm-hmm.
I do know for a fact, because of scripture, they're doing that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're doing that together, and we're worshiping the same Savior together. That for me is like how I connect. And I also do believe that that God has given Brooks some different attributes of my dad that I'm like, oh, I miss that.
Mm-hmm.
And he does. Brooks has. I mean, people have said it all the time. Like, has some things about Chris that are about him. Like, same characteristics.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that was. But I will say, if we're talking about Mother's Day and like just athletics, my dad was my biggest fan,
Mm-hmm.
and he traveled everywhere that I went, and he was at every single game. He didn't miss a game. He was always there in college. And so that piece I will always be so grateful for.
Yeah.
That he was so involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he seemed that type, because he was also an athlete, and like he
Mm-hmm.
was a football player,
Yeah.
won a national championship
And
at
he
Glendale
did,
Community
yeah.
College, like,
Yeah.
and went to NAU, and just
Mm-hmm.
he was and he probably knew how important that was to
Mm-hmm.
show up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think he had his own I think he had his own struggles, and I think he always wanted to be in that
Uh-huh.
environment. Like when he was able to show up for sports things, he made sure that that was a priority.
Mm-hmm.
Like more so as I was older, like because he also knew that playing at that level was my dream.
Yes.
And so even with Tanner and his wrestling, like he was there. He was the loudest one in the stands, and so he was like, and that's how the four of us, and not speaking for my siblings, but in a certain way we connected with him because sports was his jam.
Mm-hmm.
And so that we will always miss that piece. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So that's
Wow.
But
always
yeah,
memories.
so yeah, I know we're kind of like bringing it
No,
back,
it's
and we'll even
good.
rewind a little bit too, where it's like, so being also a wife to an athlete,
Yeah.
and then especially an athlete that's trying to make it,
Yeah.
and like Jake. So, and you always hear it, like I mentioned in the previous podcast with Jake, it's like you always hear the story, like the wife worked 3 jobs so he can pursue his dream, and he made it, and now like look at her in the stands cheering him on. It's like the Conor McGregor. It's like, oh,
right.
It's like those, and it's
Right.
like, but there's also another side of that too,
Yeah.
where the guy doesn't make it to that pinnacle sport,
Yeah.
and it's like, but now he's every day, and like,
Yeah.
but you were there to support him, and now he's
And those
there
are the
to
stories
support.
that aren't talked about.
Yeah, exactly, and
Yeah.
this is why I wanted to like talk
Yeah.
talk about this. It's like, so yeah, if you told me you were working like 2-3 jobs at the time when you were, and so like, how did that, like, because you're also thinking selfishly, it's like, I want you here, I miss you.
Yeah.
And it's like, I want a husband, but
Right.
I'm like, but I don't want you to give up on your dream.
Right.
So you're almost like torn.
Right.
So how would you like thinking back to that time, like reflect on that?
We when we got married in December, I knew that he was still, because before we got married, he said, I want you to know that I still want to pursue this. I still want to try and make it, because he did not get drafted and was supposed to, but didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think we were engaged. Yes, we were engaged in May of 2018. He was supposed to be drafted that summer. Doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And so then that conversation came about of like, Maddie, I want you to know, like, I still have it on my heart that I want to do this. Well, I loved and love him so much. And so I was still finishing out my athletic career. And I remember saying, okay, like, I don't know what that looks like, but okay. And so, and tying my dad into that, he was so supportive, and he, you know, like encouraged Jake about going to play. He like, even when Jake committed to going to play independent ball, my dad paid for one of the hotels for us just to get out there. So like, just that encouragement. And so after we got married in December of 2018, he went to go play in April of 19 out in Cleveland. Yeah. And so that became a 6 month, like, long distance marriage.
Yeah.
Well, we're babies. I'm 20 years old and my husband's gone. I was working 3 jobs. I was in finishing school. So, because I graduated that next May. So I was finishing my degree. I was medically released at this point, so I wasn't playing, but I coached soccer at night. I worked at a special needs school for moderate to severe kiddos. That was a classroom a few times a week. And then I babysat, like, on the weekends. And so I was, because it, as an athlete, like, you know how important it is. And so we did that. And I remember he came home and I'm like, okay, are we done? Like, are we good? Are we, and he just did not feel like it was time yet. So went back again and we did it again. And at that point, I had gotten a different job. And so I wasn't working like all these multiple jobs. And I finished school. But all that to say, like, when we were navigating this, there was a selfish side of me that was, as a wife, that was like, okay, I think we should be done. I think we need to be done. And tying in, like, the faith aspect, like, during this time, we had no money, like, at all. And I truly, there were months that I was like, I don't know how we're gonna pay rent. Like, I don't know how we're gonna buy groceries. I don't know how we're gonna do any of this. And but and not this is not this is and again, I hope that whoever listens to this, but this is not a, like, look at us. This is a look how faithful God is. It was so important to us to tithe. And so with the little money, like,
Well, no, he made that a point when you use it's like it's all like the 10%. You got to give,
oh,
and it's like so. I think he made it seem like you were the one like this is what we do, or
I
was it both?
he agreed.
Uh
I
huh.
think, and I could be wrong, but I think as a man, when you're in charge of providing for your family, and he's so logistical,
Uh
Jake
huh.
is,
Yeah.
that when you look at the numbers and you're like, like, we already can't even pay rent or buy groceries. How are we supposed to do the 10%? And I do remember conversations of, like, we're going to do this. I don't know how this is going to work, but we're going to do this. And so we did. He'd get his tiny, tiny check. And I wasn't making a lot,
Uh
but
huh.
it was trying to supplement. And we would give that 10%. And so, and I say that because, my goodness, like, the faithfulness of God through that time. Any new couples that I talk to, it's that. It's like remaining, obviously, like, if that is something that you're looking to get married, those are the two things that Jake and I will always say of prioritizing, like remaining pure before marriage and tithing, because those things have changed our life and our marriage, and we truly believe that it's not the end, like, God can redeem anything, but those two things for us in our marriage have, like, propelled us and, like, carried us. We truly believe that. And so during that time, it was at 10%. Nope, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Um, and but our marriage then started to struggle because I was like, okay, I think we should be done. I think you should come home. I think you should, let's get a job. Let's just, like, start our life. And but it would turn into arguments. It was not it was not healthy.
Because you also can't like you have yeah, like you said, the selfish, but then it's like
Yeah.
there you got his side is like it's a dream,
It's
and
a
it's like
dream.
if
Yeah.
it like and he said it happened at the right time when he stopped pursuing it, because if he stopped earlier,
Yeah.
he would have resented.
And that was my conversation with, like, my mentors, and as a former high level athlete, if the roles were reversed, I would have never wanted him to look at me and say, please come home, ever. So I never did that to him. I mean, in my room was I like, I wish he would come home. But we never had that. I never said to him, Jake, come home now. Like, let's be done. I needed that to be on, like, his timing and more so the Lord's timing. And so the Lord really changed my heart of, like, I'm not going to change the situation. I'm not going to change his desire. He is wanting to do what he's wanting to chase right now. And that is part of being an athlete. So my prayer was, God, if you don't have this for him, and I pray this every day, if you don't have this for him, like, long term, major league, getting to where he wants to go. Please take the passion. That was my word. Please take the passion for the game from him. And I prayed it for weeks.
You know, you put it so much more elegantly than Jake does, because Jake's like, yeah, she prayed for me to not have passion for the sport anymore, and it's like just those words. I'm like, that's a weird, but then the way you put it, it's just like, hey, because you know it's a passion that's keeping him going.
Yes,
it's not. That's just what it is, and it's. Yeah, it's like you're not telling him, it's like, hey, just make him stop loving the game, because he'll never stop. But it's just that passion of making him, because if as soon as that's gone, you know he's gonna be like, okay, it wasn't for me.
And because the second half of the prayer was, but if this is your will, open the doors that only you can open and shut the doors that only you can shut. So it wasn't just it wasn't just one of the, there was two halves of the prayer.
And because then you want him to meet his goals, and it's like, especially for like young couples, like, and it's like, I forgot what. There's a joke about it. I forgot who said it. It was a comedian. He's like, it's so funny when you're like young and getting to know somebody. It's like you have all these dreams, and you believe their dreams can happen for them.
Yes.
He's like, and then you get married, and then you're like, oh, your dreams aren't. Like your dreams aren't really realistic.
Well, and you know what? I truly, as we talked about like earlier, like he was such a good player. Like, oh my goodness, he was unreal.
And I'll second that.
And he truly should have made it. Like, and that's a story for another time. But like the details and the conversations, and like he should have been playing Major League Baseball. Like,
and baseball's such a weird thing, because it's like, I know so many athletes that are like in high school, and I'll throw this name at Alex Robles.
Yes.
So he played at Austin Pay, two-way guy.
Yep.
To me, best player I played with, best player I played against.
Absolutely.
And he got drafted, but it's like he didn't make it to the show like I thought he would. It's like, to me, I'm like, this is for sure thing, and sometimes it just doesn't happen.
Right. And so during that time, like when I'm praying those things, it was either take the passion from him and let this be it, or start opening doors and closing doors that only you can do, so that we can start to see, like, because that's the biggest thing that I've said this probably a couple times, but one of the biggest things that I've also told other couples and other women of, like, everything is a season. Life is a season. And so the season of losing my dad and having a newborn, that was a season. Jake playing professional, indie ball, like, that was a season. Not having any money, that was a season. Everything is a season. How long that season is, you don't know, but continuing to remain faithful to the one who does know, it's a season. And so when I was praying, I was like, either take this or open it. And probably a couple weeks later, he called me one night. I just had watched his start, and he goes, Maddie, he was on the bus. He did not play well at all. And he goes, Maddie, I'm done. And and then I'm like, well, let's hold off. Like, you are so emotional right now. You just played. This is how I'm going to talk to him. You played horrible. So, like, you're probably,
it's just your emotions. Right.
Let's just, and he goes, and his exact words, he goes, I know, Maddie, I get it, but I just don't have a passion for the game anymore. And it was just like the Holy Spirit, like, I just was like, okay, like, this is what is next for us. But again, the conversation, and he even said, he goes, but I'm going to finish. I committed. I'm going to end the season. And I said, yeah, then come home. And then come home. And so that was what God had for our family. That's not everybody. Some people make it big. Some people go to AAA. Some people just love traveling, or don't ever get married and stay single and love to play. Like, he still has friends that are in that boat. So, but for our family and our marriage, God just didn't have that for us. And then after that, just kind of like trickled to what's next.
Yeah. And then that's kind of like where we are now. And because it was like, for me, it was even a shock. I'm like, oh, he's gonna get picked up. I'm like, one, he's like a great guy, great teammate,
team player.
Great teammate. He's one hell of a pitcher. So it's like, and then you got people like us that are seeing it from the outside perspective, like, how did that happen? And then just also getting to know you, and like also knowing you from a distance, what Jake tells me, what he posts and all that stuff. It's just like, I can see how much family means to you, and then it's even vice versa to Jake, and it's like, and I do believe your guys' families gel really well together.
Yeah, and I love Mike and Kristen. them
Oh,
so much. They're such a gift to me.
Yes.
Yeah. And my mom, my mom and my dad, and now that my siblings are older, like they're so, all three of them are so important to me. Like even in the midst of differences or disagreements, like there's nothing like having that either. And so, and Josh, Jake's brother, like, so it's a gift what we have. And as hard as that season was of like, hey, what do I do now with my life? This was my life. Like, what do I do now? And I think for us, like, we've learned that this is not everything. It's not everything. Like his dream of playing pro at that time, you think it's everything. Me playing Division 1, you think it's everything. And now that we are married and parents and have two precious little boys, like there's so much more than that. Not that it's not great and not that you shouldn't chase it, but even young athletes that will come and ask, like, hey, what did you do? And it's very different now, even from when you and I played. But
it's the
I mean,
NIL, and it's like, but it's all the same. It's the same sport. It's the same mindset.
Grind,
it's the same grind. It's the same letdowns.
Yes, and so something that I will tell them is chase it. Like if that's what you feel God has put on your heart, chase it. But don't forget that there's also so much more outside of it, and we both really grew in that, and that's just where we're at now. Of like it was wonderful. It was a great season. We met each other, and then we have our kids. But it was a season, and that was what it was meant for.
Yeah, that's a good good way to put it. Because my season of being a student athlete has been gone for quite some time now.
Yeah.
When was I last? 7 years ago, and like the reason I'm gonna start starting out because I'm still kind of not over it.
Yeah.
And you still kind of feel like that athlete that can, especially me. I go out and play all the time.
Do you?
Yeah, all the time. Like I play flag football, I play slow pitch, I play baseball, and I'm like, I still think I have it.
Yeah.
And I'm turned 30 in December, and I'm like, and I still feel 21.
Yeah.
And I think back where I'm like, if I can be 21 again and play another year of college, I'm like, I would. But then there's also other people like Jake. It's like, bro,
I'm done.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Like I did it. So
but I also think like the seasons, like him having kids and me having like that's our like that changes your life.
Well, that's
And but yeah, we both were like, I'm good. Like, if I don't ever play again, I'm okay. And again, talking about Mother's Day, I think too, like if any women watch this that are former athletes, like when you have kids, like you change, like your body changes, your mind changes, your emotions change, like you just, and so I think probably for a lot of moms, like I think men are probably like, oh, I still got it, like I'm 21. For a lot of moms, it's the like, I literally physically can't do it anymore. Like I played in a pickup game a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I went home and I was like, Jake, like my mind was telling my body to go, but like my legs wouldn't do it. And so that's for women and for moms specifically.
Especially because it's like you just put your body through like the most trauma it can go through. Not for you twice.
Yeah, but like I even talked to a gal that I played with recently, and she just had her baby, and she was just sharing. She was like, Maddie, like I'm really struggling. Like I miss me before having this pregnancy, and you love that baby. You wouldn't change it. But you hit a season of like, I miss what I felt like, what I looked like, how I played when I was 21. And so I think for women, moms, that's where it is a little bit different of like, I just miss how I looked and felt, and I miss that level of being so fit. And so, but then again, it's a season, having little kids is a season, and just keeping that at the forefront of like, just being grateful. Like I was grateful for that. I was grateful for this, and I'll be grateful for whatever's next with the kids.
Because then I also thought like when I was thinking of this whole podcast idea, it's like, well, when I was like, you know what, like women also play sports, and it's like we need, and I'm sure it's got to be such a different transition from being the athlete to non-athlete, and then it's like, and especially as like getting older too, it's like, because if they do go play pro, it's like those are also like the prime years where women get pregnant and have a family. So it's like if you do that, it's like you're also shortening your window of doing that. And and living like that blessed, but and it's just whatever God presents you,
Yeah.
and you just got to be grateful for wherever you are.
Yeah, and it's
And
decisions.
then,
Like what's important to you. And
uh
for
huh,
me, being a mom was like I wanted to be a mom,
yeah,
and that's what I wanted, and it's my favorite role. I
mm-hmm.
just I love it more than anything that I've ever done. And so um but yeah, there are days where I'm like, I miss. I saw a picture of me in college, and I was like, I
I
miss that.
look way
You know, I
different.
look way different now, and but it's like, but being thankful for like what your body did. Like you brought two beautiful humans into the world. You know,
Yes.
so it's just I don't think that struggle goes away. Whether it's
Mm-mm.
for men of like I've still got it, or women that are moms now that are like, I miss, I miss that.
Uh
You
huh.
know, and I'm not that anymore.
So, what is your highlight of the day? Like, what is like a highlight day? Or it's like things you like desire in a day.
In a day, like as
You
a
like it's
mom.
just what's the perfect day for you
Mm,
as a mom, as a wife, and
yeah, perfect day is my kids get up really early, like
yeah,
really
Jake told
early.
me.
Yeah, like 5 a.m. early, which is great, which is fine. But we like to go sit outside. And so if I had to create my perfect day, it would be when they get up, we go sit outside. Jake, I before we got married, I always prayed for a man that would cook. Always. Like I can cook. It's not my favorite thing. So he cooks dinner, and I love that. But then I love it when he makes breakfast. And so it would be sitting outside. I watch the boys play. You know, you drink your coffee, whatever. And then I just love. I love being home. Like if I had to pick my perfect day, like I do love being home with them. And so, uh, just playing, maybe getting dressed. We like to go to the splash pad. We like to, just run
Uh
around.
huh.
We live a very simple life.
Or just put on an old Disney movie, and you're like,
Yes.
oh, I miss this
I miss,
movie.
yeah, and watching it with them. And so like something like that would be my perfect day. And then Jake coming home and making dinner, like add that to,
See,
like
that just
I
sounds like so like to even like now I don't have any kids or anything, but
yeah.
like that sounds so like nice.
Yes.
It's like
Yeah.
simple. Now it's just the simple things.
And I think again, whoever watches this, like we have chosen a simple life. Like that is
Mm-hmm.
very intentional for us. And we live in a 1,300 square foot home. We have four of us in that home
Two
and
dogs.
two dogs. And so yeah, my dog. Yeah, I look back. That probably wasn't the best decision in that season. If we're talking about seasons. But like we've chosen that life. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's something that we're grateful for, and we love to live very slow. Like that is also very intentional, and we want to show our kids like because we live the fast pace, we
Mm-hmm.
live the
The
high
go go
athletic
go.
level, we live like Jake working in corporate and making a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Like we lived all of that, and that's just not for us. It's so that a slow to encapsulate like a slow day is like my perfect day,
Mm-hmm.
and then just hanging out. Jake and I like to sit outside and hang out, and we
Yeah,
just talk. We talk for like an hour and a half before we go to bed after the kids are down, and that to us is like a regular connection
that's
because it
awesome.
gets busy. You
Yeah,
know.
because you guys can like I talked to you before you even got in here. It's like
Yeah.
yeah, I haven't talked to Jake and like we haven't seen each other, and
Yeah.
it's just like I'm sure just everyday life that just goes,
And
and then it's like
intentional. And at the end of the day, like your marriage is first.
uh huh.
And so if your marriage isn't first, like then what trickles after that? We talked about trickling and the effects. And so that for us has also been very
Mm-hmm.
important. Like we're first. The boys know that. Like it is very clear. And then they're second. And so we
Yeah.
just that's
So what do you
priority.
do that makes your marriage first? Like what intentionally? Because obviously everybody's gonna be different. It's like oh we
Yeah,
need to have our
sure.
date. We need to have our
Every
date
week.
nights. We need to
Yeah.
take a vacation this many times a year. We need
Yeah.
it. So what does that look like for you?
So again, we are very simple. We are very slow. We transparently like don't want to spend a ton of money, and
Mm-hmm.
so when we do intentional every night, we sit for about an hour, whether it's outside on the couch just talking in bed of like, hey, your frustrations, your joys, your I've tried to be more intentional with Jake of like I want to get to know he'll be 30 next month, and I want to get to know 30-year-old Jake. Like I know 20-year-old Jake and 22 and 26, but like who's 30-year-old Jake? And so
Yeah.
trying to ask questions of like, at least for me as a wife, is hey, where can I serve you better? Or am I missing something that's
Mm-hmm.
not filling you? And so we do like for us, and then our date nights, we try to do like a actual date night, maybe like every other week,
Okay.
maybe every 3 weeks. Um, if we find a couple couples to go out with, like that's fun. That kind of
Yeah.
fills us.
And yeah, having that community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so that's fun for us. And then truly, like Sundays, like are our day. So we we are together all day on Sunday. If someone asks us to do something, we really normally say no
Mm-hmm.
because like Sunday is our dedicated day of like the phones are put up. We are with our kids. Maybe we'll go to my mom's for dinner that night, but just intentional.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably how very just
That's
simple,
what
simple.
keeps you guys like both happy.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
seems like, and it's working well for you guys right
Oh
now.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We are in the
Uh-huh.
best place in our marriage, and we have
Yeah.
been.
You
Yeah.
know, since when he turns 30, you got to hit him with the. Just want to let you know, you're the oldest person I've dated. Yeah.
Seriously, yeah, I know. Well, I know. Well, he is, and he's 2 years older than me.
Yeah.
So it's like we joke about that, but we think about that. Like I was like,
Uh-huh.
how I can't believe like I've known you. We'll be together for 10 years in September, a whole decade, and I was like, just this again, the seasons of life and
Mm-hmm.
marriage and going through all the
And
stuff that we
watching
have.
him grow and change.
Oh, and he is the best man and the best dad and the best
Oh yeah.
husband that I can't even if I was like an outsider looking in, he is the best. Like
Oh,
he is
I
so
agree with you.
intentional. He is so focused. He even told me a couple weeks ago, he goes, Maddie, it's just not my season to go do stuff. He goes, it's not my season to go. He loves to hunt. He
Uh-huh.
goes, it's not my season to go on hunts. It's not my season to travel with buddies. He said, my season is to be here as your husband and as the dad to our boys. And to like that's not normal. I feel like in our society for men.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like
I
that
can
is.
agree. I can agree with that. Yeah.
He is our rock and he is our stability. And so yes, he's just 30-year-old Jake is like my favorite so far in our 10 years together, and I've loved every part of it.
Yeah.
But this has just been a really sweet season.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
And going on that too is like, do you feel like he still the same about you? Because how old are you turning? You're
I just turned 28.
Oh yeah, so
Yeah, because I'm two
2 years.
years
Yeah,
behind both of you. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, I'm a year younger than Jay. Well, he's a young one too. I think he graduated at 17, correct? I don't even
I
remember.
don't remember.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so he graduated the year before me. So yeah, so I'm
Okay.
like right between you guys.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, no, but yeah, no. How's that
Yeah,
going?
I mean, I hope he does. I hope he feels that way.
No,
You know.
we talk too. It's like I'm like, dude, your wife's so cool.
Hmm.
I'm like, she
Yeah.
like you luck. It's like you lucked out, and I think that's where you got to be. It's like in a relationship where you feel like you're doing the right thing. It's
Yeah.
like both of you have to feel lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, and blessed and
Uh
like
huh.
grateful and uh I really and I'll be the first to say like I had so much growing up to do, as we all do, but
Mm-hmm.
I was a baby when we got married. I was 20 years old.
Yeah.
And so I had a lot of growing up to do where and the biggest one was like I prioritized my family over our marriage. And I can't tell you like the amount of like heartache that caused us. And so just again when like helping young couples or young women of like he is first. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're not ready to make that happen or that's not priority to you, like don't get married. And I wish that somebody would have told me that. And so before our wedding, I could be like, no, I need to make this switch. Like I need to, he is first. And so that has been a huge growing point for me of like, we have hit a point where like our four walls, if anything or anybody comes in between that,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Like it's just I'm sorry, but this is not your time to be in our life. And that's just
Yeah.
it sounds so harsh and brash, but your four walls are priority, and then comes with that like our marriage, and then our relationship with our kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do. I try to make sure he is served. He loves to golf, like loves to golf, and so I try to make sure like I have learned just in our marriage, like men have to be filled. They also have to be filled, and
Mm-hmm.
so just as we do, and golf fills him. Like he loves being outside. He loves just going in the quiet. He
Mm-hmm.
loves that. And so I really, even if he hasn't gone in a few weeks, I'll be like, you need to go
You need
schedule
to,
around.
and that's good too because I think that is very important because yeah, being in a relationship and then like
Mm-hmm.
it can be. I'm sure like you're gonna get mad at each other, and I think
Yeah,
it's very important to see. It's like how are we gonna handle when you're mad at me?
yeah,
And so when when say he wants to go golf, and then you're like, really, you're golfing again? And it's
Yeah.
like, even if he does go golf, he's not gonna feel like he's golfing.
Yeah, and
And
he
so it's like
can't feel he can't be the
he
husband
can't
and the
fill his
dad
cup
that he
when
needs to
he's
be.
like when he's thinking about other things, and he's,
Yes.
yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like you need to be like, be your own person too.
Yes, and what fills you, and he does the same for me. Like
Mm-hmm.
what fills me, and so that way we can then come back together and
Uh-huh.
fill each other and be the best parents to our kids. And I mean, we're both in ministry, so you
Yeah.
also have to fill up your cup in that way too. Of
Yep.
like, and being able to not get so emotionally wrapped up in certain things. And how do you? I mean, you just have to be filled. And
Mm-hmm.
so when you're married, I just in our marriage specifically, I can't speak for everyone. I just have learned how what fills you, go do it.
Mm-hmm.
Go do it. Go do it once a week. Go do it every other week. Like go do that.
Yeah.
And then come home and be back at it. And
Yeah.
so that's been important.
Yeah. And like, so obviously you're one. Like it's in the
Mm-hmm.
Bible. Like you're one,
Mm-hmm.
but really we're all still our own individuals too, and we're
Right.
learning how to like live with each other and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
How important do you think it is to miss each other still, as being a married couple, seeing each other every day, going to sleep together every day?
Yeah.
I feel like that missing aspect needs to be there too, because even if
Yeah.
it's like for the day, it's like, oh, she's at work, and it's
Yeah.
like, dang, like you need those times where you're just like, dang, I miss her right now,
Yeah.
or I miss him right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think being intentional about like speaking it too,
Mm-hmm.
because you do get busy with kids and you're like exhausted. And so um I do like if I'm during the day, I'll be like, hey, I just miss you. Or like he is so intentional when he comes home because I really missed you today. Like he'll like say it.
That's good.
And date like part of that is like dating. Like
Uh huh.
I feel like when you're dating someone, you always miss them. You always want to be with them. You always want to try and win them over. I and it's easy because life happens,
Uh huh.
but how important it is to
But
keep that
how are you
going.
doing? Yeah, how are you
Mm-hmm.
doing that now?
Yeah, like how do I win? How do I even though I know I have his heart, how do I like win over 30-year-old Jake's heart? Like how do I do that? What are his interests? What is he like? And so that's just something for us that like I think we're constantly always
I'm
trying to
trying
get
to
better
learn.
at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because
Yeah. So
there's no blueprint to that. It's just
no,
you're
no.
figuring.
No, I wish
you're
there was
you're
sometimes.
no there. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, but it's like, yeah. How do you make this person that's not a stranger anymore almost feel like a stranger?
Well, and again, going back to the word seasons, maybe we should call this podcast
It's
seasons because
either,
it's
yeah.
like it's you change
Uh huh.
like and we the Enneagram is like a personality test and you don't like hang your hat on it, but we've taken that test a couple times and it just kind of describes a little bit of your personality. Well, both
Mm-hmm.
of our personalities are a different personality number just based off of that test than they were when we were dating in college.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, how do you relearn that person that you're married to? And I think the only piece to do it is putting the marriage first. Like you can't learn somebody if they're not your priority.
Mm-hmm.
And so and then be a mom and a dad
Mm-hmm.
to the kids and get to know your kids.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also like seeing like growing together and seeing how they're
Right.
changing and noticing how they're changing.
Yeah.
And like their viewpoints, because I'm sure Jake probably says some things and you're like, I didn't know that about you, or this and that,
Yeah.
and it's like trying almost finding those things
Mm-hmm.
all the time.
Well, we're very different. Like
Uh-huh.
he is so I mean, you know this, but he's so logistical minded. He's so just like just numbers oriented. Does it
Yeah.
make sense? Does it not make sense? I'm not like that. And I get that's a lot of
Um,
women, but I'm also I'm also very straightforward. So like sometimes we'll have conversations where like I'll say something and it comes off like super super not respectful, but I'm just saying it because I'm like, hey, this is like what it is. And so we've also had to like find that too of that fine line of like there are moments he wants to vent and be emotional. There are moments that I'm like, I just can't listen to another thing, and I just want to tell you, hey, this is what it is, or it flips.
mm-hmm.
And again, relearning like what triggers you, what are your likes, what are your interests, like
Mm-hmm.
realizing that there's things going on at work or personal or family, and how do you just and for me, my biggest growth as a mom and as a wife is by the end of the day, I am listened out. Like
Mm-hmm.
I have been called, mom, 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 mom. And so he hasn't. And so he's ready to come home and like talk about his day and the issues and the problems. And sometimes I'm laying there and I'm like, okay, listen, listen. but I need to be more intentional because that's also part of it.
Because he needs that,
He
and
needs
I know. And then when you're, I'm sure that you do things too, where he's like, oh,
yes,
he's like, but
yeah,
he needs to be like, oh, okay,
yes,
Maddie needs
yeah.
this.
It's just, I just feel like if you ever become stale in your marriage and you're like, I don't want to do this anymore, or this is a struggle, like, try to learn that person again. But again, it takes two.
Yeah.
And so it's like, with God at the forefront, how do you continue to like date each other and know each other and love each other and then add kids, in the mix?
Yeah.
So we're learning every day. It's
I think
constant.
that's what and then like also like learning yourself.
Yeah.
Because yeah, me even like 5 years ago, it's like I'd have a completely different viewpoint of where I am now. It's like because going through the things that I've gone through, it's just like I would have never thought I would be in the position I am now, and then it's like now I'm here, and I'm just like I was I didn't realize like how much like certain things bother me, or certain things, and it's like it's tough. So it's like getting to learn yourself, getting to learn a new person, and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then keeping again the question of like how is God going to be glorified through this? Whatever it is.
And I think and then we talked about the faith a little bit with Jake, and it's just like, and for me, my personal experience with God, it's been a roller coaster because I was so for God, and I was like, I'm a youth ministry doing doing that, and then it did feel like I dip, and I'm like it's almost like a roller coaster with my faith. Like I still believe in God, I do still believe in Jesus, and like I have love for him, but I do feel that I haven't been at like the pinnacle where I was once before. And I think I'm just also just finding that even just doing this, it's like I found passion in just like speaking, and then like accidentally saying things. Like I was reading the Bible when I was doing my youth ministry, and I was stuttering. I have dyslexia.
Okay.
And I'm like I put the book down. I'm like, I'm sorry guys. I'm like, my dyslexia is kicking in like crazy. And then after a kid comes up to me, he's like, do you really have dyslexia? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I would have never guessed that until now.
Right.
Or it's like until you said it, because he's like, I have it. And it was like, and it was something I connected with the kid with. And it's like, it's like, so what did you do? He's like, because every other time you read perfect.
Right.
And I was just like, dude, I just like Raiden made it a point to like not stutter and like try to flow through sentence. He's like, that's what I did. I just worked at it. And so it's just like, and that's what I want to do now. It's like I had no idea that I was gonna even like do that. I knew I wanted to start a podcast, but it's like I enjoy talking, and now it's just kind of finding where it goes, and honestly, where God wants to take it.
Yeah.
And I also want to document my life too, because it's like even if nobody watches this, it's like I got something to look back on. It's like if I like have a close friend, I'm like, dude, I started a podcast, and I did it, and like talk to people that I've never talked to before. I actually have like a mental list of people who I want on.
Yeah. And I think the beautiful part is you like talk about your faith. I mean, it's the same for everybody. Like I talked about after my dad died, like I was in the lowest. I can't even describe like the lowest place I was in, but the beauty is that like he doesn't change, and so even when we change, and even when we're constantly doing this because we're human and we go through life, horrible aspects of life, he doesn't change.
Yeah.
And he's always right there.
No, he's there. And it's like, and you can be mad at God or not understanding why he's doing this to you. But at every point of life, he's loved you the same throughout your whole journey. When I was here praising his name in church, and making everybody understand like how much I love God, and to like my lows where it's like I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like I don't want to praise you because I feel low. I'm down here. It's like, what are they gonna see? A guy that's not doing anything. A guy that's like and it's like why would I praise him when I'm right here? Nobody cares for me to be right here. But it's like that's not the case. He loves you when you were here, and he loves you when you were here.
Yeah. And I mean just the gospel. Like just what the gospel is of like he died, he rose again, he's coming back, and he knows you, like he chose you, and he knows your journey, and he knows your path, and but what are we going to do, like, and when you say, Brooks accepted Jesus into his heart last year, and that childlike faith. And it's the same. I think sometimes we
Yes.
overcomplicate.
Oh, we
We
definitely do.
overcomplicate believing in who he is and what he's done. We're reading through John right now, and just that was one of my notes today of like, I think sometimes we make it really complex. And so when you or me or Jake or Brooks has decided to say, hey, lack of a better term, like, Jesus, will you come into my heart and will you save me from my past, future, present sins? And your name is written in that Lamb's Book of Life.
Mm-hmm.
So my point of that is, even when you're here or you're here, your name is written.
Mm-hmm.
And now the people that you impact, that might change based off of where you're at. But thank goodness he doesn't need us to make his mission known or to make the difference. He doesn't need us.
Mm-hmm.
We just, it's an honor and a privilege to be a part of it. And so just the beauty of what the gospel is, even when we are on this roller coaster, and just trusting that in those seasons he is still good. And but sometimes it's hard.
It definitely is, especially like, yeah, especially with like when you see like how other people view Christians. Yeah. It's like, oh, like, look at that Christian, he's out drinking and all this, and it's just like, okay, but yes, but are you not? It's like throwing the stones. It's like you're also this, and it's like, but it's like we're all trying to figure it out at the end of the day.
And I think that's something that we miss in the Christian community of when someone chooses Jesus and someone says, yes, I believe that he died, he rose again, and he's coming back. And I think that we miss saying, you are going to be hurt. You are going to be, another Christian is going to hurt you. I don't think we say that enough when a new believer like walks into the faith of a church is going to hurt you and another Christian is going to hurt you.
And I also think your own decisions will hurt you, because there's so many, there's things I've done where it's like I feel a sense of like shame, and I'm just like, I'm like, and I know God, and like I was in the, I'm like, and I felt like I fell on my face in certain aspects, like maybe nobody saw it, but like for me it's like I'm like, I'm looking at myself like spiritually, I'm like, I'm scuffed up, like I fell hard, but I also just got to know that it's like, hey, like I'm still love you, God, even though I was so mad at you or whatever, or like not understanding why you're putting me here, but it's like, just, all right, you know what, you still love me.
And realizing that when the Christian does hurt you or the church does hurt you, they're also human. And the church is ran by humans that are just trying to seek Jesus the best that they can, obviously depending on, you know, the church. But I think it's just a reminder of that, you know.
It's kind of similar, like, especially out here in Phoenix, when people drive, how people drive.
Yes.
You're like, it's so easy to just be like, what's this idiot doing?
Yeah.
And it's like, they're just trying to drive, just like, as we're saying, what's this idiot doing? We're turning, we're like, I'm just like, oh. It's like we're all trying to get to the place safe. And we may hurt people along the way, or make people frustrated. And it's like, but as long as we're intentional, I feel, and like, and also like, be observant to other people. It's just like, hey, I want to be there for you. I want to,
And how, and you know, how are you seeking Jesus in every season?
Yes.
When you're sick, when you're healthy, when you're in pain, when you're not, like, just maintaining that. And easier said than done sometimes, but whether you're single, you're married, you're a mom, you're a dad, you're a husband, your wife, whatever it is, it's just, it's a journey. Everything's a season.
Yeah, and it's fun to see where we're about to go. And
what's next?
We're not even 30 yet.
And
we got to still go through all our 30s. We got to go through our 40s, hopefully through our 50s, and then just going through, because like the podcast called Washed Up, and it's like eventually we're gonna be washed up 20-year-olds or 30-year-olds now.
And what are people gonna say about you when Jesus calls you home? Because if you've accepted him, what are people going to say about you at the end of your life? That's what I think about. Like, I think about that. Like, what are people going to say about Maddie REPAVICH when I'm not here anymore? And all is left because our life is like this. And I have my kids that are left. You know, I have maybe Jake. Maybe I go, you know, if I go before him, like, what are people going to say about me? And I pray that my life I pray that my life at the end of it, and I'm not here, and God has called me home, and they're like, hey, tell me about Maddie.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to say, Maddie was so in love with Jesus. She wasn't perfect, but she strived to do everything she did in every season of her life, in every aspect and every role, was pointing people to Jesus. To God be the glory.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
No, I think you're an absolute light to the world. And like, well, I try to contact Jake, and for some reason, and I hit you up, and I'm just like, I'm like, get your man's to call
what is
me.
Jake
Yeah,
doing?
I'm like, you don't
We
answer.
were laying in bed that night, and I was like, did you know Deco's trying to get a hold of you? And he goes, what are you talking about? And I said, he just messaged me that he needs to get a hold of you, so you need to call him.
Yeah, I even called. I'm like, I didn't have her number at the time, but I was gonna call his mom and be like, hey. Jake's not answering the phone right now.
And I would like to connect with him.
Can you tell him that I'm reaching?
That's so funny.
But like, just like, because I knew I can go to you because you would be like, hey, like, he's reaching out. And it's like, because I'm sure there's other people and like, where it's like, they don't care. It's like, if their friend hit him up, it's like, hey, he's trying to, like, and that's just certain people. But like, I view you as a light. And I think you are that for your siblings. I think you are that in your community. And it was great to have you on. I appreciate you.
This was an honor. Thank you. It was so fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Washed up.
Yeah. Tune in. And if you've been watching, thank you.
Washed up.